They said, hey, we want to do a video called Dub in a Tub. And so they took us.
We need money.
So I went in this.
You don't understand.
I went in this. I went in this home and I took my shirt off in front of a bunch of grown men. And
the worst part is he put on a damn shower cap.
Welcome to Drop the Disc. This week we have two fellow entertainers from Kix 99's morning wake-up crew. We have Sean Cash and Bryan Axelson, also known as Dub. Both of these people are former guests of the show, and we have them on today to talk about how coronavirus has affected them, their jobs, and the entertainment industry in Augusta.
It's just different now. Like a lot of things are. The way you go to the grocery store is different now, right? The way you go to work is different now. The way you go to school is different now. The way you listen to the radio and consume what we do for a living that a lot of us take for granted, let's be honest, is just different.
We get their thoughts on how it felt to record the show from home.
Now that we've found a way, I've never pushed harder for anything in my career than we need to get back in there. It was a sink or swim moment for the show, I thought.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go much more than 6 weeks, keep doing it this way.
And how did they feel about some pretty high-profile cancellations?
We just give you the facts, and I mean, there are times where we get blasted for it, and it is tough because for the last couple of weeks, it seems like every single day it's like, well, this school change has happened, and now this event's canceled, and now that event's canceled. But yeah, Guitar Pull really hit hard because this is the first time in 21 years that we haven't done it. You know, it's a big charity show, and unfortunately, it's just we're not going to be able to.
It sucks that the United Way is not going to get a check today,
right?
Or this year.
You know, it's the largest single donation that our United Way gets every year is from Guitar Pull.
That's the real loser here.
Two incredible guests, plus Zach McCabe with At All Equal Parts stops in to make some unbelievable drinks. This is the kind of conversation that's not only entertaining, but you might just learn something. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate you listening. This is the Drop the Disc podcast, recorded at Augusta Podcasts Studio. This episode, like every episode, is presented by Nancy Powell of Powell & Associates. Nancy Powell & Associates is a local Augusta real estate agent, broker, and company. Listeners of the show will know that Chris and I both trust her for our own personal real estate needs. Chris for settling into a house to build a family around, and me for my property investments. Nancy is well-rounded. She's extremely intelligent, she's extremely experienced, and she is very, very well networked. If you have a real estate question, contact her on Instagram at Downtown Augusta Broker, at Downtown Augusta Broker. We trust Nancy, and we know that you can too.
Hey guys, I'm Chris.
Hey guys, I'm David.
And we're here with Drop the Disc podcast.
We're here with a couple familiar guests.
Yeah, two friends of the show. Actually, technically three friends of the show.
That's right.
And we'll get to that third in just a minute. But we are here with
Sean Cash.
Sean Cash.
From Kix 99.
You sound like you've never done that before.
I was like, what are you doing?
Excellent. And then
we could do Bryan Axelson, a.k.a. Dub, a.k.a. whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah,
Wrestling boy.
That's right.
This one is full of himself.
Yeah, so we've got Cash and Dub from the Kix Wake Up crew.
there we go.
That's
I
our-
love
there's
it.
our-
I love it.
Caught me off guard.
And before we fully introduce you guys, we're going to go ahead and take an opportunity to introduce these drinks that you guys have in your hands.
Please
and
and thank you.
We're going to let Zach McCabe come in here and say some words from At All Equal Parts.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Zach, what are they drinking, dude?
These are called fog cutters.
They look freaking amazing.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
They're pretty.
Talk about it.
So it is a classic tiki drink. This was actually made for Dub, right?
Yes.
You're the one
Yeah.
that doesn't like bourbon.
No, I like bourbon. You like the bourbon. But here's the
This
thing.
is for Cash.
Oh, this is for
but
cash.
let me
Okay.
tell you, I do not discriminate against alcohol.
Understood.
Right.
So
All alcohol is equal in my eyes.
I like
You see what
that.
I did there?
It's a callback. All equal parts.
That's right.
Hashtag brand.
I guess.
Yep.
But this was I pulled this from some questions I asked you guys. I think you answered them. Yeah. Most importantly is who you preferred, Chris or David.
That's the only question that matters.
The only important question. But we had a mishap with some strawberries and they didn't make it. So we guys both get fog cutters. It's a
I can
classic
only
tiki
assume
drink.
that was the bash drink.
That was the bash drink.
Yeah.
This is a classic tiki drink. It has gin, pisco, and some rum in it, and almond syrup, orange juice, lemon juice, a little bit of sherry, and it's just like drinking like a boozy lemonade
When would you recommend drinking this thing?
all the time.
All the time.
Especially in Augusta, Georgia.
Right, there you go.
All the time.
And Chris and I have these, are these margaritas?
Yeah. Those are margaritas, classic margs.
The traditional margaritas.
And it's freaking delicious.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
thanks.
so good. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you to all equal parts, Zach McCabe. And we're
Okay.
going to hear from you again, right? There's more drinks?
Sure.
Oh, hell
Yes.
yeah.
Absolutely.
There
guys.
probably weren't. He's doing it now, though.
I'm just gonna say, like, literally, the way this thing is presented to me, I feel like I should be sitting front row at like Siegfried and Roy in Vegas.
The
It's-
one bad
this is
thing
nice.
about the one bad thing about the podcasting is that we can't show off the drinks that we're drinking while we're recording.
I just posted it on my Instagram story.
Touche. There we go.
This is fantastic. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, all equal parts.
Yes, thank you. All equal parts.
Okay. Sorry, there was some communication happening.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Dub,
Yes.
Cash, y'all have both been on Drop the Disc before, right? So our normal show is we kind of get the backstory of you guys for our audience. We're not going to do that today. We're going to talk more about radio and the city of Augusta and even events that are going on.
And I would like to say, those of you at home, the Sean Cash episode was almost a year ago.
Yeah,
It was
recorded at Kicks 99.
Yeah, it was
We were
over
at-
a year ago.
We were at the Beasley
Wow.
Broadcasting Place.
He
and
gave
we
us
were-
our shot.
Yeah.
He gave us our big
yeah.
break.
That's
Yeah.
right, and that's available in the archives. And the Dub episode was actually done from my bedroom.
Yes.
because
We
I-
were not all there.
I got screwed because of COVID-19.
Right.
Literally,
Yes.
right as when my big moment was supposed to happen.
Your big break.
That's when everything started closing down, and they said, "Hey, buddy, you hadn't left to head down here yet, have you? Because we're gonna do a FaceTime call and record everything." So,
would you say that the All Equal Parts bar is at least a little bit making up for that?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm excited to be back on the show now that it doesn't suck. You know what I mean?
Thank you,
Like, I
thank
wanted
you.
to be a part of the podcast now that it's good.
That
Yeah,
means a
right.
lot to me.
Yeah.
that's with all due respect.
My
But
guy-
y'all had only done like a handful of episodes
Like
at that
6
point,
or
right?
7 real episodes
And
at
I
that
will
point.
say,
Yeah.
I will say that actually, those of you at home, you can thank Sean Cash for the production improvement because he would be listening to it and giving us advice. And
Yeah, I'd be
all.
like, this hurts my ears.
This needs to work here and there, and so
Right.
But-
it's great to have two friends of the show back on.
Yeah, man,
And
it's
we're
great to be
friends
here.
now in real
Yes.
life, which
No,
is
right.
really great. And that's
Yes.
what makes this whole thing better. Y'all have killed
Right.
it. I can't do anything but wholeheartedly respect everything that you guys have done. This
Yeah.
studio is incredible. This partnership with all these people that you have is so neat. I need a job.
Yeah. Well, and see, and
We'll
the,
work on it.
well,
We'll
and
work on it.
You're right
Just
because we
kidding.
have become friends in real life because we played golf with you, and you just shared a sandwich with
That's right.
Cash.
That's
so
right.
I mean,
That's right.
That's right.
there's no
I
better
get fined
friendship
for that?
It was
No,
touch and
absolutely
go
not.
there for a minute.
Absolutely not.
So let's do a quick. I want to do a quick kind of recap on you guys' backstory for any new viewers. Let's start with Cash because your
Yeah.
episode was a long time ago. Can you give us like a quick breakdown of your story and how you got to Augusta working at Kicks 99?
Yeah, I've been doing radio since I was 17, 18 years old, which doesn't compare to Bryan's radio journey, who he started when he was like
He was
9.
like 6, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I came out of the womb with a mic.
But I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, in the suburbs of Detroit, and moved to Lansing, Michigan to do some radio. Did every format you can think of, oldies, pop radio, country radio, whatever it is. And then I got my first opportunity to do it for real on a really large stage in a pretty good-sized market in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I went down
And that's
to,
like DJing.
yeah, it was. I did middays, 10 to 3, and I was the assistant programming director at QDR, 94.7 WQDR, which is the big heritage country station there. So I did that for 3.5 years. I met my better half, Mimi Wheeler, there. She's born and bred in Raleigh. We moved to Charlotte. She had an opportunity with Beasley. I had an opportunity with iHeart. We did Charlotte for a little while, her longer than I did. But I didn't particularly enjoy living in Charlotte as much as I had thought that we might. And this opportunity was given and presented to me via a person that I worked with in Raleigh, and kind of the rest is history. I got up with T Gentry a couple of times. I wanted to move back to a market this size that looked like this, that felt like this, that had, tight community ties like Augusta does. And I came down here maybe 3 times, and I said, this is where I want to be.
When did you start doing the Kicks 99 Wake Up Crew?
It's been almost 2 years.
Okay.
Now.
January of 2019.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years. Okay, so like
Nearly.
a year and a half.
Yeah. So it's been, and the success that we've had, that I think that we've had, has been great. And I love this community that we built. There's not anybody that you don't know through a partnership that you've, like, oh man, I know you through this, or I know you through that. And I wanted to get back to doing radio in a town that cares about it so much, and that's here. That's with Kicks.
And let's throw it to Dub. Let's throw it to Bryan. Let's throw it to
Whatever.
You have another one? Do you have a third one?
No, that's
Axelson.
There are
I want you to only call him WB for the rest of the day, because I don't think he likes that one as much.
No, I don't care. I honestly do. 'Cause I really don't care. There's a few names that we can't talk about on the air.
So let's blow right past that. You were born with
Yes.
a microphone speaking onto the radio.
Pretty much, yeah.
Explain that
Well,
statement.
Can I see a picture of that?
Yeah, you can, but it's going to cost you. I started at Kicks 99 when I started doing call-ins when I was like 12 years old, and I started working there as a paid employee when I was 16. I've literally done...
Which is insane. You people need to realize that is crazy.
as
That doesn't
legally
happen.
young as they could hire him.
I had my own...
Hashtag illegal.
I had my own Saturday night show when I was 17 years old.
It's unreal.
Yeah, so that was, dude. I was like, all my buddies would call in, but hey man, can you play my song? I want to hear it. I was like,
I'm
all
gonna
right,
go
cool.
to bed soon.
Yeah, exactly. I got to finish this algebra homework, but I want to hear Toby Keith first. So I did. I did that, and man, I got into promotions for Beasley, which led me work for of course Kicks 99, but also 95 Rock, HD 98.3, WGAC,
R.I.P. 95 Rock.
Yeah, no.
Oh wow, we're saluting it.
Yeah,
Let's take my hat
we
off,
miss
I
it.
think.
Well, we spent because I learned that our friend David here was a big 95 Rock guy from our last episode. But yeah, I did promotions for them. So worked for I did afternoons for them for a year. I did nights on HD for 3 years. I did remotes for WG. I actually did a GAC remote one time.
Really?
Yeah, one time that happened. So yeah, man. So I've had the chance to work with all kinds of all the different Beasley stations, and like Cash was saying, man. I mean, it's just you don't really you don't understand what kind of fan base we have until you see it. It's like our listeners are more like family. Like they come, like when you had your baby Olive. I mean, there was so many messages that came in going, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you guys.
It was unbelievable. Yeah, it was completely overwhelming.
Yeah, and I mean they get vested in your lives. Like they listen to us every single morning. They're like, oh my gosh, I saw your wedding pictures. Oh my gosh, I saw your newborn baby pictures. And it's like they're more like friends other than listeners. So it's really cool, and you just don't get that everywhere.
No.
I hope they're listening to our podcast right now
If they're not, we'll tell them to.
and feeling like they're in the room with us.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to have this career and to work in, Detroit and Charlotte and Raleigh. I mean, these are big markets.
Right.
A lot of people. You would think, wow, okay, yeah, we're going to go there. We're going to have all this success. All these people are going to love you. Well, it's just not that way.
Well,
and I
Cash,
wanted
you
to get
have
back to that.
a beautiful voice, and
Thank
I don't
you.
think that can be overstated how that's probably helping the show a lot right now.
Sure.
Well, you're welcome.
So
I will say
yeah.
your voice though does age you more than what you actually
Yeah, it's
are.
accurate. Yeah.
People are very disappointed for a number of reasons.
I'll tell you.
When they meet me, they are bummed out.
I really think that you're this veteran radio, maybe in your
huge
40
arms, like
40s.
Well, and that's
Now when I saw the tats, I was like, okay. He has a pass. That's
he's on the way.
What's crazy
That's
is
the
that
Detroit.
the one thing that you hear the most in radio is when someone meets you for the first time, they give you the you don't look like I
Yeah.
thought you would.
You know
And I'm
what
like, I don't
Yeah,
know
that's
whether to
true.
take that as a compliment
It's
or
not.
not.
You know what
It's not a
people say
compliment.
about me? They
What?
always say, I would always think you would be taller.
Oh yeah, me too. They always thought I'd be older.
I like you. Okay,
Yeah.
we're vibing on
They
this.
tell me, did your mom ever tell you had a face for radio?
I hear that all the time.
Stick around because we are about to dive into talking about media and events, specifically Guitar Pool in Augusta. But first,
You know, we talk about all the time how much we love the clubhouse, but we really don't talk about how lucky we are to have a business like the clubhouse. If you want to start a business, if you need an office, if you need to print, if you need to make 3D objects, guys, if you need connections, networking, I encourage you to check out the Clubhouse, and that is TheClubhou.se. That is their website, Clubhou.se. If you want a tour of the facility, just give them an email, and I want y'all to go check them out. Y'all can just DM them on Facebook, the Clubhouse.
So we've already done the episodes where we've talked about you guys' backstory. So we want to spend more time talking about media and Augusta. And we're in this like really interesting time in Augusta right now where a lot of things, and the world, by the way, where a lot of things are changing. I know Guitar Pool just got canceled. I don't know what you guys can say about that. But what are you guys hearing about these events that are being canceled?
You know, it's tough for us to talk about this stuff on the air without, you know, making one side or the other side
right. And you always
upset.
want to be positive, of
Sure,
course.
right. You know, it's just not the type of show that we do. You know, we don't go on and
we don't pick a side.
No.
We just give you the facts. And I mean, there are times where we get blasted for it. I mean, just for presenting the facts, and what people will call up and they'll roast us, and we're like, look, we're just giving you the same information that you could get on Facebook. And so we don't pick a side, and it is tough because every single for the last couple of weeks, it seems like every single day it's like, well, this school change has happened, and now this event's canceled, and now that event's canceled. But yeah, Guitar Pool really hit hard because this is the first time in 21 years that we haven't done it.
Right.
You know,
but at the same time, how many other events just haven't the Augusta National Masters Week?
Right.
You know, y'all are not the only one.
Right. And it's hard because we're partners with so many of these cornerstone events in this town.
I mean, just in the last week, Border Bash just got canceled. Banjo-BQ, Arts in the Heart, like some of our favorite events every single year. I mean, man, I look forward to Banjo-BQ every single year. Arts in the Heart is one of my favorite events in Augusta. And when you watch these things, it's like you saw it coming. We knew that there was no way, unfortunately, to do these things safely this year. But it just when that announcement first gets made, like with the Green Jackets season, man, I'm telling you, you wouldn't have found two happier guys to go to a Green Jackets game and go to Southbound beforehand to get a couple of beers
Thirsty
and some
Thursday.
apples. Yes,
Thirsty Thursday.
And we knew there wasn't going to be a Green Jacket season, but when you get that official announcement, it's just
different.
It hits harder. And it was the same thing about Guitar Pool. Like we knew going into it, we're like, there's just no way. I don't think that we can do this and do it safely. But when that official word came down, it was just like, man, this sucks.
people were very understanding.
Yeah.
And Kicks Country is there are a lot of things. Practical is one of them, I think, at the end of the day.
When you say Kicks Country, is that the
those-
station? Is that the listeners?
I mean the community of people that,
The community,
that we're
okay.
lucky enough that they tune in every day.
Okay.
You know, that to me, that's Kicks Country. They're the people that we see at remotes. They're y'all. I mean, you guys listen.
Right.
I mean, and that's Kicks Country to me. You
So-
know, the people who are there every day.
So this might be a little tangent, but when we say, so you hear Braves Country, and you know that really is Tennessee,
Very small,
Alabama.
nobody wins.
It's actually
They don't
a
win any
very
games.
Braves Country actually extends to a very large region that you would not understand. But so when you say Kicks Country, do you know the region?
Hepzibah. I'm talking.
We're talking about the
Wren's,
CSRA.
I'm
entire
talking Augusta.
CSRA.
I'm talking
Okay.
Martinez.
Are you at liberty to tell us how many people live in Kicks Country?
However many people live in the CSRA are potentially members of Kicks Country.
That's right.
Potentially members.
They are, if they're not already members, they could be potential members.
right. I
love
We
you
welcome
guys.
we welcome them in. Come on.
They were very understanding with the Guitar Pull decision, and it's a decision that you know, Bryan, you and I, we don't want to make that decision,
Right.
And we're lucky that we didn't have to. The
Yeah.
people that we, you know, our upper management, they're smart people. They
Right.
were going to make the right choice either way. Right this minute, it just wasn't the right thing
Yeah.
to do at that time, and again, a lot of people understood, and there's so many things that factored into that, but it's okay. And what we've been saying on the air is every morning, and I don't how popular of opinion this is, but it's okay. These things will come back. We will do these things,
Sure.
and they will be incredible.
So I've this may be a question you don't want to answer, and if it's not, please just tell me and we'll move on. But I do want to know, are you guys surprised that so many of these events have been canceled rather than scaled back and live streamed and did X, Y, and Z? Or is it surprising that they've gone straight to the cancellation?
No, because I mean, there's just no, especially with Guitar Pull, there was no way to, because Guitar Pull, there's a certain standard that people look at it as.
So is that what it's about? Is it like we're not going to drop below what people generally would expect from this?
It's not just Augusta, it's Nashville. Like our Guitar Pull has a national reputation with the labels and the artists in Nashville, and we don't want to put on a, pardon the expression, a half-ass show. You know, we want to be able to give people the show that they've come to know for the past 21 years. And there was no way to do that this year. So rather than tarnish the reputation, we said, you know what, guys, we're going to take a step back. We're going to keep everybody safe this year, and we're just going to, we'll be back bigger and stronger in 2021.
As far as these other events, though, I mean, you all are pretty smart dudes, marketing-wise and PR-wise.
Yeah.
Whose brand wants to be associated with the risk or the liability
of
doing something
it's
like
kind
this?
of scary, right?
Sure.
To put yourself in that position where you're like, we know this one system works.
Yeah.
And we're going to put ourselves in this whole new system with 2 months' notice, and we're going to see what happens.
In every, look at these massive industries. Look at sports.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are
And they
tiptoeing
have
around
billions
these,
of dollars.
Yeah,
Right.
these guys are tiptoeing around these major decisions.
Yeah.
Who wants to be the first one to be like,
Sure.
we'll try this, and
Well,
then have it blow up and not work?
right.
And who wants to go
Right.
to Arts in the Heart where there's only 100 people?
Yeah.
Or who
Right.
wants to go to Border Bash if there's only 200 people present? Or Banjo BQ? I mean, these events, they're meant to have thousands of people at them, having fun, having drinks, enjoying food, enjoying each other's company, fellowshipping together. And if you can't do that and do it the way people have expected it to, because here's the thing, if you don't do it that way, people are going to get on Facebook and Instagram and whatever, and they're going to go, this sucks.
Yeah.
Or the other side of that, the whole trolling situation where you do have that, and then someone takes one picture from a certain angle and says, this is how, let's say, Guitar Pull does it.
Right.
Well,
When there's a
that's it, yeah.
pandemic, and then years to come,
And there's only one
There's a
person doing
boycott.
that, but it's Guitar Pull's fault.
Sure.
Right.
Dude, honestly, right now, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Right.
Right.
So
100%.
right now, it's just like, just don't.
So let me ask this then. You guys said right now, let's say next year, let's say there's no COVID vaccine. What do you guys think is going to happen with concerts and live events in Augusta?
Hard to say.
I would say it would look a lot like this right now. I don't. There's a lot smarter people out in the world who make these decisions and things like that. But again, I would put it all back to who wants to take the risk and the liability. And again, that might not be a popular opinion, and I don't mean to offend people by that.
I think you're right, though. I think what it's going to take is people that potentially aren't ingrained into the media and ingrained into society as much as, I mean, let's say Guitar Pull. Guitar Pull is extremely ingrained. It's a huge deal. It's a national concert. Guitar Pull doesn't want to be the concert that messes up. I think it's going to take potentially smaller organizations that say, hey, let's give this a shot to try to fill this
we
space.
We want to do the right thing all the time, and sometimes that's easy to do, and sometimes it's not. We want to do the thing that's going to benefit the people who listen to Kicks every single day.
Right.
And we want to continue to give them these incredible experiences, and if it's simply not safe to do it, then I don't think we're going to do it.
The other thing is when you look at all these national tours that are playing in cities way bigger than ours with artists that, I mean, when you literally look at this artist and they've canceled all their dates
I'm
until
sure they're losing money.
Of course they are. So when you look at this artist and they've canceled their entire tour for 2020, and there was times when we did our Nashville 411 segment where we run down all the latest country music news, and then for 3 days in a row, it's literally, well, this person, and this person all canceled their tour this week. So when you look at that and you're like, okay, if they can't go to Atlanta or Charlotte or Columbia or wherever and see a show, then, I mean, how are we going to do it?
So with all these like big organizations and larger bands not touring and doing as much, do you see like an opportunity where do you think more local, maybe younger, maybe smaller organizations are going to start doing more events? Or do you think everybody's going to be laying low?
Man, I would.
I'm just curious to hear. I'm just curious to hear.
I don't know. There's so much unknown to the world that we're living in right now. And
It's the Wild West.
yeah, it would be hard. Like I look at it like a new dad, right? Because I'm a new dad.
Mm-hmm. Relatable. Not to me, but relatable.
But to somebody,
Right,
right?
to
And-
somebody.
And it's completely and totally changed my perspective on what Mimi and I feel comfortable doing, period, whether it's with the baby or not.
Well, for you guys, it's totally different too, because I can
Sure.
go out and risk my life, and it doesn't. There's no child that will get sick, right?
So that's why Chris will tell you there'll be a thing that we'll get up with our better halves on whatever, and I'll ask, maybe what are we looking at people wise? Do I know any of these folks? Just to make sure. It's just questions and things I've never had to ask
stuff
before.
you never thought about.
And I think there will be people who will also have pause to go do things that were maybe no second hesitation,
right,
and is now a little bit different. So as far as your question, are there going to be these smaller events? That is probably a safer option than putting 20,000 people together in one spot. But I don't know who's beating the door down for that liability right now.
Right.
Because to Chris's point, it's one photo, it's one Snapchat,
it's
one thing.
Yeah.
To get brought to anybody's attention, our attention,
and that's there forever.
And that's there forever. It can't be gone. And then you have people again on either side go, man, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, you just read the comments, because I know there's been some things that some of the folks in Columbia County have done. Out at the old amphitheater where they put the tables 6 feet apart and you stay at your table and things. So there have been some smaller things like that have gone on, but those are few and far between. They happen maybe every other month or every couple of months. And
by the way, we don't want these things.
Yeah,
of course.
Like people, I think maybe could have misconstrued the guitar pull decision as like we didn't want to do it or we didn't put the effort in. You can't understand and we can't talk about how important that is for us.
Could you? Right, and you go into the bigger organizations, you guys would have lost so much money, even if you executed it flawlessly and you had,
but I meant like
a third of the people in the crowd, like as an organization,
Sean,
like it wasn't the right thing. I get
Sean, or to blink twice if you are out of like millions of dollars because of this. Just blink. Don't you don't have to say anything.
I'll tell you. I mean, I don't want to get y'all in trouble. It's a big charity show, and unfortunately, it's just we're not going to be able to.
It sucks that the United Way is not going to get a check today, this year.
Yeah, I think a lot of charities are going through that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's the big thing is because there's a lot of sponsors that aren't able to come in and help us out with this amazing show that we do, and we raise it. Literally, it's like I told you guys on my other episode, it's just it's the largest single donation that our United Way gets every year is from guitar pulling.
That's the real loser here.
Yeah, so that's the thing is it's just that but we couldn't just sit there and say, well, and also all these artists, because we've talked about it, they donate their time.
Right. Yeah.
How do you sit there and say, okay, I know, just for example, Luke Combs, who played it last year, hasn't done a paid show all year. How do we ask him to come and donate his time?
Right. That's a good point.
And
stuff people don't.
That's
and it's not their fault. They don't they don't know about that.
I think at the end of the day, that was probably a big element. Even if we have guitar pull, who is going to be at it as far as a talent perspective?
And when we deliver the news, we had to do it carefully on the show for the three of us, Jenny and Bryan and I.
And you guys have a third person on the show that's Jenny. We haven't shouted her out. Let's shout her out real quick.
We love JB.
We have to do that.
I can't wait for you guys to get her in here next month.
She will be in the studio with us next month.
I'm coming. For that one.
Can I just sit? I want to sit in the lobby. I want to sit in the golden ticket seats back over here, man.
We'll talk about the pricing for those later.
Perfect.
We will be having all equal parts there.
Awesome.
Buddy, you're gonna love her when she gets a little buzz going. It's gonna be great.
But for the three of us, selfishly, it's a great marketing tool for our show. We love,
of course.
Those
you guys host it.
We host it, and the ticket stops, and it gives us another opportunity to get out in these communities that maybe we did a ticket stop in Lincolnton last year.
Yeah.
Lincolnton,
buddy.
When's the next time you'll be there?
Well, not only that, but like, who the hell's getting out to Lincolnton to show him some love? And you thought we were the damn Beatles when we showed up. It was fantastic,
dude. What's crazy is
imagine if y'all did Gibson, Georgia.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine.
If we would have gone down.
Imagine. They won't, but imagine.
Well, the crazy, but the thing was like we literally had our calendar in the studio, and so we would sit there every single week because like, all right, man, we got to go here today, here tomorrow. I mean, there was 3-4 days out of every week where we were at a different business doing appearances.
And that hurts
so
those
let's
businesses.
talk about that. We were talking about this before the show started, and you guys were telling us about how your day-to-day is so different now relative to how it was before COVID.
Yeah.
And you were kind of getting into this, but I want to specifically direct this question to you guys about like what's been different about the show and then also like your daily lives because of COVID-19.
And you can talk about what it used to be like briefly to compare it to what it is now.
Yeah, please.
I mean, we especially this time of year, we specifically last year, we are out doing something not only.
What were you guys
every
doing
other
last year?
day.
Those Waffle House.
Oh, buddy,
yeah.
we did a 6-week Waffle House tour.
Selling out Waffle Houses.
So we went to 6 different Waffle Houses throughout the CSRA. We did North Augusta, Grovetown, Aiken, Thompson. And we went and did our show live from a different Waffle House every single week. And so we didn't get a chance to do that this year. And also around this time we would have been doing Guitar Pull announcement, and we would have been at a different place almost every single day. So we would have done the show. We would have got there and done our show from 5:30 to 10. And then we would have.
That's AM.
AM.
Yes. Just to let you know.
Yeah. So 5:30 to 10 a.m. And then we would have left, gone home, grabbed some lunch, maybe caught a little half-hour, 45-minute nap, and then then gone to do a ticket stop from 3 to 5 or 4 to 6 or.
And that's not counting the charity things that we would do on a Saturday night or Friday night or whatever. Winter
and
was
that's
really
understated because you guys were talking about what was the event that you were going to do, Dub, that was canceled?
Oh, it was right when it was supposed to happen. It was we had Jake Owen was supposed to be at the Miller Theater,
right?
And myself and Barkley Bishop, who you guys had on, we're going to host Dancing Stars of Augusta.
We need to bring her back. That was a Zoom episode too.
Was it? Yeah. So we were supposed to host Dancing Stars of Augusta for the Alzheimer's Association, and literally as we're sitting there during dress rehearsal, I'm looking at Facebook and just watching event after event after event get postponed or canceled or whatever. So that was right when everything broke. And then the rest is history. We haven't done anything since.
It's crazy.
But now life is, again, I don't think a lot of folks realize this either. We're owned by a very large parent company, a very big media company.
Right.
And they own properties all across the country. Digital properties, radio stations. They're even in esports now.
Sure.
I mean, it's a huge media company.
When you say digital properties,
they
websites?
run there's a media group, so they do there's marketing divisions and digital divisions of social advertising and things like that. So when a company that size makes a decision on day-to-day operations, it encompasses the whole company. So maybe things weren't so bad here in Augusta.
Do you know where they're out of? Are they out of California?
Florida. Naples, Florida.
Oh, I'm surprised they canceled anything.
Yep.
Well, at that point,
that was a Florida joke, just in case.
Well, they were actually, I think, fairly one of the first media companies. I just compare it to other Cumulus, iHeart, Town Square, Entercom, those folks.
Yeah.
One of the first media companies to say, we're going to send everybody home. And so we, for 6 weeks, did the show in 3 different locations.
How was that? How did that affect you guys?
It sucked.
It was awful.
Because I was in the studio, and I literally would look at these guys via 2 computer screens. I would have my laptop set up over here so that I could see them, and I would have them on a screen in front of me so that I could hear. Because on my laptop I couldn't hear, but over on the computer in front of me I could hear. And it was just the timing wasn't there, the energy wasn't there, and I'm not gonna. I am going to be completely honest. I hated it.
I hated it. I hated every moment of it. It was important to do, and I understand why we had to do it, and we would probably do it again.
Sure, if we had to.
If we had to, yes.
Yeah.
It was. We've had a lot of folks ask us about it, and
we ran into that too. I mean, Dub, you were a victim of that.
I was the first one. I was the first victim.
We bring people into our studio. We give them Savannah River Brewery beer. We talk to them about super interesting things and tell them stories.
But it's hard,
and then we start the podcast. And when you cut all of that out, it's such a different dynamic talking to people. Like, you don't have that personal understanding of that person. I mean, I can't imagine how it was for you guys with 3 people.
Yeah. We tried to, once we figured out a way to go back and do it safely. We have plexiglass in the studio now.
Okay.
We have these special mic covers that we've invested in, and there are ways that we can navigate the building and ways we can't, and there are capacity things. But now that we've found a way, I've never pushed harder for anything in my career than we need to get back in there.
Yeah,
as a 3. This was a sink or swim moment for the show, I thought.
Yeah,
I didn't want to go much more than 6 weeks. Keep doing it this way.
Right. And we were just because it wasn't the same, and it wasn't the same for me because I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm in an empty studio, and honestly we have, and I'm going to be completely honest, peeling the curtain, but we have more fun off the air than we do on the air.
Right.
And I feel like when you're joking off the air and you're laughing and you're having a good time off the air, and then you turn the mic on, that translates. That goes right away from what we were just talking about off the air.
There's
onto
an energy.
Sure.
There's an energy there that no one understands, but that's why they're listening.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why they're listening.
That is
That's exactly right,
yes.
Chris. I mean, and that's so true. When you lose that, you lose the reason why people tune in.
Right.
And now Jenny was doing it from I was in my master bedroom.
She was in her bedroom.
Yeah, sitting there like an idiot every morning in sweatpants and like like a tank top.
Your dog's barking to go out.
Yeah, the dog's barking. Mimi was 8 months pregnant at the time.
At that point, this man actually, the dedication, he did part of his show from the hospital room.
I did.
Wow.
The night Olive was
That's iconic.
born.
Though.
Yeah.
That's
I bet the hospital loved
pretty
that,
crazy.
though.
I never said where we were. We were at doctors now, but at that point, I never said where we were. I just didn't want to. There were so many restrictions in the hospital.
Yeah.
But I did 3 shows with you guys from
Yeah, because you
Like,
guys were there from Monday night.
eating
through
hospital meatballs.
Y'all were there. You were there from from Monday night to Friday around lunchtime.
Yeah, don't remind me.
Yeah. so there was
Magical
one,
moment,
there was,
but I was trapped in a hospital.
There was
Right.
there was one time he texted Jenny and I said, "Give us food. I don't care what you go and get. Just bring us food." So I went and got them food, and I literally had to stand under the breezeway and wait for a nurse to come down and whisk the food back up
It's
to them.
like, this is from Dub. And I
Yeah.
said, I don't care.
Right. And so my I get home and my wife was like, "Did you see the baby?" I'm like, "No, I didn't even see Sean and Mimi. I just dropped the sandwiches off and ran."
Yeah. So I mean, but see, y'all know each other though. So going the way y'all did, I'm sure, y'all were getting that vibe at the very beginning, but then over time, it was
You run yourself.
you run yourself down.
Yeah.
You
And
lose the novelty of it too. Like
Yeah.
the first 2 weeks, it's the novelty
like,
of
I'm
doing the
sitting
show
in my
from
bedroom.
home.
Isn't this neat?
Well, we
Yeah.
could tell different stories and
Right,
things like
right.
that. There's some fun stuff there, but you could just listen to the show, and God forbid somebody's internet didn't work that day or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Seriously.
It progressively got worse.
Yeah.
And now our days are back to sort of normal. We're not in the building very much. Because
So what's the
of
difference
capacity
now?
issues.
What's the difference now? Because you guys are back in the studio with 2 of you and Jenny. What's the difference now?
We basically anything we have to do, like say, whether it's cut a spot or whatever it may be, we have to do it all pretty much before we go on the air or while we're on the air.
So you're getting there at 5 in the morning.
We're at 5:30 in the
really
morning.
early.
And,
No,
and-
thank you.
And so but by 9:30, 9:45, we have to be gone.
We have to be gone. There's a
because
capacity.
the next show is coming in.
Well, sure, but there's capacity rules now for this building
Right.
that they can only have maximum
Right, like-
this amount of people,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
or whatever it is, and those are all to keep us safe, and we appreciate those things. But we joke, and our bosses will hate to hear this, but we joke that we work harder now in less time than we ever have.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
there was times where we would get off the air at 10 o'clock, and we're like we'd go down the hallway and BS with each other and talk with our sales folks and talk with the folks on the other stations, and then we'd be like, oh, we got to go cut this spot. It might be 11 o'clock. There was times where we weren't getting out of there till 12:30 because we're hanging around, we're talking, we're cutting up, we're cutting spots. But
that's radio.
Yeah, we're
Right.
we're brainstorming this idea, this promotion. Oh, okay, we're doing ticket giveaways for this concert. How
Yeah.
are we going to give them away where it's not just taking caller number 9? What are we going to do creative? Things
I was
like
so
that.
bad at that when I was a kid. I was so bad at being number 9.
Yeah, you were always number 7.
I was number 7.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
what I was.
So
You were probably number 9, and somebody heard you and was like, nah.
no, who's that David guy?
I think that happened once, honestly.
So we
95 Rock, that's why it's gone.
we would we would go from our studio to our program director studio to our marketing director studio back to our program. I mean, so we were just always there talking, and there was times where we didn't get out of there till noon, 12:30.
We
That's
do
crazy.
nearly all of our production from home now.
Yeah.
If you hear a commercial that has one of our voices on it, or we're representing a brand
Really?
that we work with, those are all cut from the house.
Or we get there super early in the morning.
That's a 3 a.m. spot
Yeah,
right
or
there.
cut it
Right.
before we go on the air. Yeah, because there's times where, like, especially like when you went on vacation these last couple of days, Cash was off for a couple of days and he had spots to cut. So literally for 30 minutes, he's just knocking out this spot and that spot. And then
And those are all things that you wouldn't have to do if this
Right.
wasn't, a thing. But
So we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
We're going to get our next drink from Zach.
oh my.
Right, the next drink. There, you got to finish that one.
Yeah, you're
pussy.
not even halfway.
hey, can we talk about who's
hey, there you
who's
go.
the champ
Dub.
here?
Shout out Dub.
Who's a champ here?
Dub ate more than a half sandwich.
It's true.
I don't know if legally I can do this anymore.
Hey, this second half of the podcast is gonna be great.
we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get our second cocktails, and we're going to come back, and I want to ask you guys about the viewers and the listeners' response.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we come back, a look behind the boards at how radio stations are judged. And we mix in a couple of pretty funny stories along the way. This is the Drop the Disc podcast, recorded at Augusta Podcasts Studio. And before we get back, we have got to talk about how much we love our relationship with the Little Guide to Augusta, not only from the standpoint of a business that's in the Little Guide to Augusta, but also from the standpoint of learning about all of these different businesses that are open and that are local to our city. You know, now more than ever, it's so important to support local business. And that's why we love this relationship. That's why we love promoting the Little Guide, because if you want to go support a local business, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a boutique, whether it's somebody that provides a service, whether it's entertainment, the first place to look is the Little Guide to Augusta. Check them out on social media. Check them out at thelittleguide.com. And check them out wherever you may be shopping. Support local, drop the disc, and love Augusta.
We're back, and before we get started, Zach's going to tell us the new cocktails that he made for us.
Right, so Zach, you just served us with 2 separate cocktails. One of them is the 2 Strong Legs, which we've had in a previous episode.
Yeah,
Give us a quick recap on that, and then tell us this really interesting drink that has a lemon twist that I'm holding.
Okay, so the 2 Strong Legs, I originally created that specifically for Chris's palate.
What's up?
I asked Chris a series of questions, including who he preferred between him and David, and he said David. So funny. There's like a long delayed laugh there. Sorry,
I like
guys.
that. I appreciate that.
So there's bourbon, there is some vermouth, there's an Amaro in there, and some peach liqueur.
It is very delicious.
And I named it 2 Strong Legs, not after Chris's ability to squat weight. I promise
Is that
you.
accurate? Okay.
Anyway, and the
I
other
thought-
drink.
I've been telling people about how 2 Strong Legs were named after my legs.
They were named after an Allman Brothers song.
Ah, that's right. You keep telling me that.
The other drink is, I don't have a name for it yet, but I'm working on it. I want to put it on a menu in town that we can talk about maybe in the future.
TBD? Is that TBD?
It's TBD.
Okay.
But it was honestly the drink I brought in here to Screw with Bash. I always bring a drink to Screw with Bash.
I love it.
I just need something to make you
You want
say,
me to try this right now on microphone?
Yeah, go for it. Let's
hate
see
you.
what happens.
Have you tried it yet?
No,
That's a big sip.
Did you see his pinky out?
That's
I
a
just
that's
want-
a
I
that's a
just want
bash
y'all to
size
know.
sip.
Dude, this is really good.
Wow. that was me saying wow. I'm surprised that you like it.
I really like this. It's so smooth.
You
What is this?
So-
does it have a name? Will it have a name? Is it the bash?
It will not be the bash. I promise you it will not be the bash.
But is it the bash?
Every episode with Zach has been a bash drink.
There's a
Yeah,
bash
yeah, yeah.
drink, a drink that I bring on here specifically to
This is the
screw with
first
you.
one I've liked the most, though. Like, I like this a lot. I could do disgusting
it's super
things
crushable,
with this
isn't
drink.
it? It's like juicy, but like not like it. There's no juice in it, so it's like a stirred boozy red drink. So there's some Aperol, some gin, some apple brandy, an ingredient called beer, but it's not what you're thinking. It's spelled BYRRH. It's actually a wine.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then like some orange cream citrate in there. I'm really pleased with how this drink came out, and I'm really happy that you like it, Bash.
Well, Zach, thank you, man.
This is
I
freaking
actually am a
delicious.
fan of this drink.
This is
let's,
delicious.
Let's get Cash
Yeah,
back on the
get
mic.
me out of here.
Keep
Thank you,
sipping
Zach.
on that Blanky Kong.
Right. We're all sitting here drinking cocktails, and our cocktail guy's drinking Savannah River Brewery. So, Cash, we got you back, and
Cash is still on his first drink.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
unfortunately accurate.
You know I'm a dad now. So.
That's right. That's
no,
right.
no, we're gonna pull the curtain back. The man has only eaten a half of a sandwich.
I guess there we
it
go.
was yours. It was your sandwich.
No one needs to know that.
And by the way, it was delicious. So
Fantastic,
we've
and I
heard
appreciate it.
It looked like 2-day-old meatloaf
It did.
on white bread.
It looked like mostly Thanksgiving stuffing.
looks can be deceiving. So before we broke to talk about alcohol, which is very important.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys about your listeners.
Yeah.
You guys interact with your listeners a ton of different ways. You have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have your personal pages, you have the show page. I'm sure there's more stuff that I don't even know about. People call into the show.
Yep.
Has any of that changed? Has any of the dynamic of how you guys are interacting with people changed?
For sure. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, listening habits now are
Because people aren't driving to work as often.
listening habits. Period. I mean, throughout not only morning drive, but throughout the all day parts are completely different than what they were. Yeah, work looks different now. School looks different now. Commutes look different now. And, our number one avenue of listenership is in your car.
Right.
And when you spend less time in your car, you spend less time driving places. That definitely affects the way that we can get people on the air every day. And again, that's okay. But we need to evolve as not only a show, but as a business, as an industry, on how we get people interacting with us and how we can use Facebook, and how can we use Twitter and social and our websites to still get that big engagement that we want. And but yeah, it's completely different.
Do you use Twitter? Is there a dad on Twitter?
I use Twitter mostly to complain about sports.
Me too. I respect that. I did not expect that answer, but I
don't put my listen. You don't. You don't want to follow me on Twitter.
Whenever you make a post, just always follow up with #dad_joke.
It's funny is Jenny Bender. Jenny Bender has a secret Twitter.
Ooh. She does, yeah.
And I will.
Make sure you ask her about that.
You got to talk to her about it, and you got to press her on it.
Okay.
In fact,
press her
I hope that y'all come to that episode so she feels the pressure.
Yeah, to tell the truth.
These two folding chairs back here, I want us to be sitting there.
I'm taking an Uber next time.
I'll send you an invoice.
I'm taking the same one.
I'll pick you up.
Okay, cool. But yeah, the other thing is we always try to make sure that whatever we're doing on the air, we also kind of mirror that on social media. Because we'll sit there and go, okay, what have we done on the show today that'll translate onto Facebook or onto Instagram and things like that? Because we want people that may not have heard whatever we did on the air. Because the thing is, if we did something at 7:30 and you're not driving to work at 7:30, you're driving to work, say, at 8:15, or you drove to work at 6:30.
Or you work from home at 9 and you're just getting up.
Sure, you didn't hear that.
Right.
So now the main way that you interact with what we did on the air is via that post on our Instagram or our Facebook. So we try to find at least 2 to 3 things every single morning where we can go, okay, that translates good to social media, and let's make sure we put that on.
It sounds like social media has become a lot more important for you guys.
Sure.
Is it accurate to say that?
I would say for broadcast media, it's as important as clicking the mics on every day. Just the way that these companies sell it now too, as a way for us to, as a company, make money and a station to make money. But how we reach our audience and how we serve those people, you have to have a strong digital presence on socials, and now more. Our website is now more active than ever. Things that we probably should have been doing anyway, but now it's more important now than ever. If you go several hours or a day, was maybe a better example, without any social posting on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever your big mediums are, that's as worse, in my opinion, as dead air.
Sure.
For you guys specifically.
Right, because again, somebody spends only 6 minutes in their car and they go, man, I got to get more of whatever they were talking about, whether it's information about a school closing or Luke Bryan's butt tattoo, whatever it is.
Right.
It's
wide a range of topics.
It's a wide arrangement. So, but there needs to be a way for people to go find that stuff, and that's where it lives on our social pages.
Well, and the other thing is, because we talk about things, and the thing is, like, you can't see what we're talking about. So if we can say, oh, Cash did this, or Jenny did this, or Dub did this, hey, we got a picture up right now on our Instagram page, or people are going to go, holy crap, I couldn't see that. I want to go see what that looks like right now. I want to go see what they did or whatever. They can go and do that right then.
How far are you guys from doing like a live stream video while you record in the morning?
That's a
How
good
far
question.
are you from that?
I like that. That's borderline ESPN, or even podcast.
Morning
there
talk
are
show.
there are Beasley stations, our sister stations in Charlotte. Their entire show is accessible via video live stream.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I think the thing
Do you think that will come here?
maybe
Maybe not the country station.
Well, I'll tell you though, man. I mean, it's
Sorry.
it gets a little nutty in there, when we're not on the air. I mean,
Yeah.
because a lot of times we're watching TV or we're watching. I'm going to pull the curtain back. There's times where we'll watch the golf tournament live stream.
We have to.
We'll watch the golf
Absolutely.
tournament live stream on the
Nothing
computer.
wrong with
we
that.
have to.
We do.
Well, why?
So it would honestly, for the majority of the morning, it would be
You'd be bored.
It'd be a very non-entertaining video.
I think to answer your question though, David, I don't know. There's a lot of resources that have to go into that.
Right.
There's a person that would have to produce this video show,
Right.
And I don't know what that looks like. But yeah, there is times where we have done video things that have been sold to clients that we need to fulfill, and we try to do that. And we have a digital department in our building that, I'll go out to, Inspector Roofing is a client of ours that I work with. I'll go shoot a video with those guys, or I shot a video with Jiffy Lube. You've shot videos for Aiken Housing Center, and all these folks who pay the company to use our platforms. Yeah, we'll go shoot stuff like that all the time.
Right. There was one time I took my shirt off and got in the bathtub.
That's true.
I love that story.
Yeah.
And I did bring it up on the Zoom interview, I believe.
Yeah.
Will you tell that
let's go
story
ahead and relive it
for the
real quick,
studio?
because this is more of a.
Let's tell the 2 cocktails in version.
And
of that
hold on,
story.
let me get my Instagram live ready.
Sure, I don't care. I'll be completely honest with you. So they said we want to do a thing.
Who can we?
Aiken Housing Center, our friends over there. I mean, we did a great series of videos with them where they talked about all their specials they had going on, all their promotions they had going on, and there was one thing where they said, "Hey, we want to do a video called Dub in a Tub," and so they took us.
It's funnier this time.
It is. They took the. I went in this this.
We need money.
So I went in this.
You don't understand.
I went in this home
for the small price of $100.
Hey, so let me tell you. So
on a good day,
I went in this home and I took my shirt off in front of a bunch of grown men. And
the worst part is he put on a damn shower cap.
I did.
I saw it.
And
his name was Ethel.
And I got in a bathtub full of balloons. Like there was a clown gonna bust in.
Hold on.
Can I tell you another story too of when he had to disrespect his whole physical appearance in front of strangers?
Please tell us.
We went to Aiken, downtown Aiken, to do.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
To do a Santa Claus thing. We're promoting their Christmas stuff downtown Aiken, and Dub they made him put on an elf outfit, of course, because I'm sure as hell not going to put on an elf outfit.
Let me just say real quick, you have the eyes
of
an
an elf.
Beautiful elf.
Thank you.
Hold on. But Sean would make money being an elf.
No. This
Yeah,
man,
the wrong kind of money.
Have you ever seen Bad Santa? This would be Bad Elf.
Yes.
So I said, so we're driving over there, and we were talking to our account executive who was in charge of the whole thing, and she said, "So I think that they want you to put on an elf outfit." I was like, "Cool, okay." So the problem was, I was not prepared for this. So under the elf outfit is literally just me and some boxer briefs.
That's it, dude.
And I'm going to be completely honest with you, fellas. It was gusty that day. Yeah. It was a little windy in the alley downtown Aiken.
Essentially wearing a skort the entire time.
Y'all seen that iconic Marilyn Monroe photo?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
That was almost me.
I wish that was you.
Was that the facial
It was
expression
bad, dude.
as well?
It was bad.
Well, and the problem is it was a little chilly that day, and so I was like, okay, are we done with this? Because I'd like to go put some pants back
That's
on.
why the Kicks Wake Up Crew is this phenomenal team of people, because there is no damn way that I was gonna. You could have gave me $1,000 that day. I would have said, I'm going to Mellow Mushroom.
Right.
There's no way I was gonna do that. And then Jenny, come on.
Yeah, come on. Well, I'm going to be honest
But
with you.
there's only one dipstick on that show that would do that.
People would have had to pay to see her.
Well, that's true.
And there would have been plenty of people that would have paid to see her in that outfit.
But you were and that's why I love you, man. I love you for a lot of reasons, but there is no way
Specifically the elf
professionally I've passed that part of my life, I think.
Sure.
And you're like, I'd do that.
Yeah. and I'm sitting there like,
I love it.
And I'm like, how am I going to explain this to my wife? Well, she just gets it.
I think every group needs that guy.
Sure.
I try to be
Absolutely.
that guy sometimes.
Yeah. Well, okay, I got an elf outfit in the car. If you want to,
Don't wear undies.
$1,000? Or what are we doing here?
I'll give you a half a meatloaf sandwich.
That's right.
So to end that conversation, it sounds like your relationship with your viewers has gotten a lot different.
Yeah, man, it's changed. I mean, it's completely changed. And like we said, not only like, it's not something that's unique to Kicks or unique to Augusta or anything. This is something that the industry is having a hard time with. And
Right.
and I say hard time because less people that are in the car, less people that are listening, less people that we have to rate, and the last
Right.
people that, the less people we have to sell to advertisers. And that's why, the business as a whole, again, not specific to Augusta or our company or our stations, but it's just different now. Like a lot of things are. The way you go to the grocery store is different now, right? The way you go to work is different now. The way you go to school is different now. The way you listen to the radio and consume what we do for a living, that a lot of us take for granted, let's be honest, is just different. And whether it's on Alexa or your Google Home or whatever it is, it's just different.
So going off of what's different and these times that we're in, how do ratings work? I just want to work that in because the ratings for a radio station, they're going on the road, listening to your station. It's a radio wave. Is that, I mean, for a person at home that is not familiar with how, y'all get data and whatnot.
So let's say this. So like, however your show is rated, can you kind of like break that down for us and like tell us like how people understand how many people are listening? Because we asked earlier, who's in Kicks country?
Right.
And Dub, as the future politician that he is, said everybody in the CSRA is in Kicks country. Just
potentially
turn it on the radio.
And I was glad that you did that.
So how do you guys measure that though?
Man, it's we're in a Nielsen diary market, and diaries are sent out to areas of the CSRA.
What is a diary? Is that like a
literally,
I write in it?
Yeah.
literally a diary.
Yeah, so it's literally like a
journal.
Yeah, you write down what you were listening to on this day, this
How
time,
long.
how long, all that
Really?
stuff, and you send it back in, and that's
And those
how,
are the people that determine
Now, those people,
how
though,
well you're rated?
those people represent subgroups, right?
Sure, of course,
So
yeah.
say a white woman who is 48 and had 2 kids, she was single. All right. So that she represents that age demo for us unless they put more people in it, right? So say a Latino American man with a family of 4 is listening at work. Now, he represents a minority group, which is weighted differently than 2554
Interesting.
females or 2554 white men.
Interesting.
It's based on market size and how many people live in that market, the geography of the market.
So it's just weighted for population density.
That's, I want to say yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
and it's also based on how many people send it back, because there's a lot of
Yeah,
people.
right,
There's
right.
a lot of people that they send these diaries out to that literally go nah
and
just
throw
like
it in the garbage.
right? And so
now we're getting rated on 500 people
Right.
when there's nearly 500,000 in this metro or whatever.
Right.
it
Well,
is.
right.
Nielsen rating is they seek you. Most of the time, they give you
they'll
like
send
they give
it
you
to you
like
in the
$2
mail or something,
or whatever
right?
it is.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
they
a
give you in the
Family
mail.
Guy episode about that.
Yep,
That's how
yep.
I know.
It's the same way.
That's the only reason I know.
Yeah, I came from a PPM market, which is make a very long story short. It's the same way.
What
that
is PPM? What does that mean?
So it's a different way to rate radio
it stands for
ratings.
personal people meter.
Personal
Thank
people
you.
meter, yes.
Okay.
And so it's basically a beeper that these people wear, and it tracks what you're listening to, how often you're listening to it, and
That's crazy. This
yep.
sounds so like no offense.
it's a completely ridiculous
Sounds
in age
so
process.
1990s
Sure.
dystopian.
Yes.
Like how you make decisions. That's insane.
Now think
Yeah.
of it as based on. I mean, this is our livelihood.
right.
These are our
Your entire
careers.
job is based on some dude with a freaking pager.
So
Yeah.
if you're listening to this and you get a Nielsen book,
just
I'm not
write
telling
in
you
cash
what to-
and dub.
Well, no. I would never tell you to do that. Never.
Sure,
Because
yeah.
I want it. I want it to be as a completely fair and just process as possible. But,
I'll tell them to.
But fill it out.
Yeah.
You know
Sure,
what I mean? Because
sure.
it affects
Be honest.
the amount of money that, and be honest too. That,
Yeah.
it affects our jobs.
Right. If you do listen to cool. If not, if you listen to
not,
something
that's
else, if there's something else that
Tell
you
them.
enjoy, yeah, exactly. We just want to know. They want to know what you enjoy, what you listen to.
So on that note, I want to ask this, and we're kind of talking about these 1990 dystopian ways that radio is measured right now. We've kind of talked about some ways that you guys conduct business as a station and as a show specifically. What kind of things do you think are going to change, potentially even permanently, about how you guys as a radio show or as a station operate? Let's say because of COVID.
People, humans, jobs.
I mean, do you think, like, for example, do you think more social media is going to happen?
Yeah.
More web development
Yep.
focus? Like what kind of things are going to stay about the things you've been having to
Think
do?
about like traditional radio advertising, right?
Right.
It's, hi, I'm a business. I'm coming to you with money. I want to run commercials. Okay.
Right. I want this guy to talk about me, or I
Right.
want to play this ad.
So, right, the company and the station, they set those prices based on rating
Right.
success, based on the show's success, specifically to us.
Right.
Now, when businesses in the area struggle, And I think every single business in America
Safe to say.
has been affected one way or the other.
It's a great guess.
It's a pretty good guess, right? So they struggle,
man.
then they have to drop those rates. But then that's a worst case scenario. You never want to drop your rates, right? Unless it's some sort of catastrophic situation.
Right.
So then they look for other avenues of how to get the most out of these folks' money. So where do they start going? Live events, well, those aren't happening right now. Sponsorships, very rare to have something like that unless it's on the air. And then the last but not least is your digital and website management. I mean, these people, well, I don't want to say management, but your website advertising,
Right.
Yeah,
your social media advertising. These companies have come, and ours specifically, this is public knowledge. Look, we want to make a hell of a lot more money via the web than we do on the air. We want to make
Why would you not?
Why would you not?
Right.
So, that helps our building for sure.
Sure.
But when I said people, I mean, again, this is public knowledge. Our building was affected by cuts, and every media company that I know that owns radio stations has cut people across the board. That's how I think that you'll see a permanent change in this business. Is will those jobs come back?
Okay.
How will they come back? And if they don't, how do we keep doing this at this level?
Sure. And, I mean, especially last year, we did way more social media videos than we've ever done before for clients or for events or whatever it may be.
Not
And-
TikToks, though.
No, not saying.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, well, and the other thing was,
I would follow y'all if y'all did TikTok.
well, and the other we're
I don't
just
understand what the
It's
hell
illegal
it is.
now. We're off
yeah.
of it.
Well,
It's
and the,
illegal
well,
now.
the other thing is we're.
Is it officially?
I think
Sorry.
we're also too young, like way too old to tick in or talk.
Yeah, I haven't ticked or talked in years.
In a long time. I actually got banned from talking in 42 states. But
let's not discuss that.
yeah, so when we first
For the record, that's not correct.
right.
Yeah,
To go back, don't Google that. So to go back to the way to where things were when we first started doing the show from home, we relied very heavily on our Facebook Live videos and stuff. We each did Facebook Live videos every single week where we would either read to kids or we would
That's awesome.
we would just sit around and do. We did match game like with each of us and our significant others
Yeah.
where we would talk about our significant others would come on and we would like try to match each other's answers, and we were getting thousands and thousands of views and comments and stuff because
hilarious.
people literally they
Stuck
missed
at home.
They were stuck at home. They
Right.
missed
You're
that,
creating content.
and they missed that connection that we would usually have with them out on the streets or out at a concert or out at an event and stuff like that.
So that'll
Right.
change too
Yeah.
permanently, I think, to answer your question. It's hard to predict the future, and we haven't been in this business for 40 years like
Right.
some of these guys, but we've been in it long enough to see when things like this happen that it's not only very scary, but there are real ramifications for the future of the business that are caused by this crazy time that we're living in.
Sure, and there may be things that come back, just like we may be sitting here this time next year, and everything may be just like it was in 2018, and we may not have missed a beat, but there may be things that we're sitting there going, wow, remember in 2019 when it was like this, who knows? We're in a lot of uncharted territory right now.
Yeah, I can't even begin to try to predict what radio is going to look like next year.
Media, period.
Media,
Yeah.
period. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to be maybe just podcasts, and if y'all need a place to be,
How many times do you think he's going to sell us?
At least 4 times.
AugustaPodcasts.com. Check us
Golly.
out.
We made an agreement.
And David and I made a bet, so we're really
Right,
trying to make it
whoever
happen
gets you
here.
guys to sign up is the winner. And guys, we're going to be right back. But first, we have a message about how you should be spending your weekends.
David, you and I are very blessed to live in Augusta, Georgia, where the weather is perfect for the pool or for the river. And I just want you to know that what goes really well with those two things is a nice beer. If you're planning on going outdoors or doing something fun in the sun this week, I encourage you to check out Savannah River Brewery and get a 6-pack of their Uncle Fest beer, or get a crowler of the Swamp Shake. I encourage you, these are very good small batches that they have right now. And if you have nothing to do on Tuesday night, Tuesday, August 18th marks 100 years of women's right to vote. They are going to have their small batch of Stout Women, which is a porter of an orange peel and ginger. I encourage you to go check it out. Savannah River Brewery.
So we do a final question, and we're still going to do that final question, even though both of you guys have been on the show. We still like to hear the updated answers because there's always something different that you can add when talking about the city of Augusta.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys one more question before that, and then I'm going to turn it over to Chris.
Sure.
What?
Pending me not having any interesting questions and throwing everything off.
Chris, you now have 37 seconds to think of a final question.
I gotcha.
No, he knows it. So with that being said, you guys have talked a lot about how the way that you guys have been conducting media has changed, as far as like more social media. The Facebook Live is something you've talked about. Hopefully you guys will be live streaming from the studio soon so we can watch it. But one way or the other, do you think that radio is becoming a lot more of a personal situation as far as like, you know, I think of myself, right? I think of myself listening to the radio in 2013, 2010, when I was in high school, and I'm thinking, okay, these are just shows. I'm not connected to this. It sounds like in 2020, people are really connected to you guys as people, you guys personally. Are you guys experiencing like more personal following, more personal elements to the broadcast that maybe you wouldn't have experienced a generation ago?
I mean, I would say that's the entire reason that people, whether they know it or not, listen to the radio.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason why shows like ours have success locally.
Right.
You know, versus shows that are syndicated out of Chicago or Nashville or Atlanta.
Right, Steve Harvey or
LA,
et cetera.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a reason that those shows, some of those shows do work.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that some of them are really, really successful in certain cities, and there's a reason that some of them aren't in cities like this.
Right.
It is my opinion that, without sounding like an egomaniac, you know, we are the reason people listen to the show. Is because you can see us at the bar, you can see us at the restaurant, you can see us at the park, you can see us at the concert, you know, whatever it is, and we can see you and say hi too,
Right.
and talk about things that happened on the air or not on the air.
Yeah, and that's the thing is because like, you know, I mean, people they come to this. I mean, they hear the music, but the thing is, there's so many ways to get your music now. You can get your music via streaming. You can get your music via, you know, this platform, that platform, whatever.
Right.
So you come to the station to hear the personalities, and it's not necessarily you can hear the same stories that we may talk about on the nightly news or on this entertainment platform or this blog or whatever. But you want to hear our take because you're like, I am invested in these guys. I listen to them every single morning. I see them out on location. I see them out at these events. I want to know what they think about it, you know?
And we always use the saying, we always use the saying, work here, live here, play here, just like you.
Sure.
And we do. And there's a certain point where you just simply don't care what's happening in LA.
Right.
You don't care what's happening in Arkansas or in Chicago.
I think you find that especially in the South.
Yeah,
Right.
we want to
Yeah.
know what's going on in our own backyard, for better or worse.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
we are here
Yep.
doing that with you.
And there's so many times where we'll sit there and say, hey, man, I was at this place this past weekend, or I was at this. And they're like, we've had in the old world before things got crazy where we would every single Friday we do a thing called TGIF because why, where we say here's what our weekend plans are, and we would run into people. If we said, hey, we're going to go do this at this place, or we're going to go be hanging out at this place, we would run into people going, hey, there's Cash and Jenny and Dub, and there's their wives and husbands and everything like that. And we heard y'all talking about it on the radio, and like we would see that, and we would talk about it the next Monday morning on the air.
Do you guys get recognized more by your faces or your voices?
I would say with social, it's
half and
half and
half, yeah.
I would say.
That's interesting.
I will say, side note, I did text Cash the other day saying, hey, I hear you're going to go downtown this weekend. He was like, who told you that? And I was
please,
like, bro. I was like,
Please.
listen, I was listening to you on your show. You told me.
I did say that. Yeah, I texted back. I was like, try not to come.
Well, I think I honestly I saw you text him and said, new phone, who dis?
I'm busy, man.
All
right. Are we good for the last question?
I'm ready to go. Go ahead.
Okay, so we have asked both of you these questions, and we've kind
Crap,
of.
I forgot what it was.
That's
That's
good.
okay. We're
That's
gonna
a-
re-ask
that's
it. It's
good.
fine.
That's a good thing.
That's
So,
what we're here for.
and we ask a little bit different, Sean.
Yeah.
We are Drop the Disc podcast. We're trying to drop the disc from Augusta here. And I'm going to ask you first, Dub.
Sure.
Because you're from the area. Sean, you're from Detroit.
Yeah.
You've been all over the East Coast, and you're now here, raising a family. So
Yeah.
it's a different question for you. But if someone were to come down to you, on the street, just talk negatively about the city of Augusta.
Yeah.
What would your response be to them?
My thing would be like, man, have you really dove in to see what all this area offers? I mean, yes, sure, there's a lot of things that we don't have that hopefully we will get soon, but there's a lot of things that we do have. Have you gotten out of your comfort zone to go and experience this event that you might not have gone to that you, might really enjoy? Have you listened to this particular type of music that you might not necessarily listen to, but now you really enjoy it? Have you gotten outside of your comfort zone? It's really easy to say, this sucks, there's nothing to do. Okay, well, what have you really tried? Have you dove in to the area? Have you gone up to the lake? Have you gone to play golf over here? Have you gone to shop over here? Have you gone to hear this band over here? Have you gone to this restaurant over here? Until you try it, how can you say that it sucks? You can't.
You're very passionate about this.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, I mean, because there's a lot of things like there's this Facebook group that I follow. It's like a history of Augusta thing, and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we used to have that was really cool, but there's a lot of stuff that's coming in the future that's
Yes.
also going to be really cool.
Absolutely.
Stick around for part 2.
I love it.
Boom! Drop the mic.
He did try to drop the mic. It's
did
just
not.
If it wasn't attached to the
it's
stand,
attached to the stand. Sean, I know that's a tough one, but y'all are in two different, stages of life right now. So what would
I simply don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't know where else you would want to go for whatever else you're looking for. I mean, this city has so much to offer. This metro has so much to offer people who are now, who are looking for fun things to do as a family, or to be like a young person or an older person to sit here and retire. From where we're at right now, we're downtown. We can see, all these restaurants and bars and things like that in these buildings and this gorgeous sunset. But this Riverwalk is so unique to this city. The fact that you can cross the bridge and be in another state, in another town, to watch a baseball game and eat some great barbecue and a couple of fancy restaurants in that little neighborhood over there. I mean, it's so unique to this town. And then you can go to the lake, like Dub was saying. You can go play some of the best golf you've ever played in your life,
Or the worst.
Yeah.
if you have a lack of talent, like we do,
like all of us,
Or
yeah.
me.
all of us.
Definitely me.
But I simply don't understand it. There's a reason why we're not from here at all. We've hardly been here 2 years. But I can't. I always say this: it's going to take a lot for me to leave. I mean, the quality of life here to me is very high and it's very rich. And we've chosen to start a family here. And if you're someone who's been here your whole life and you're like, man, this sucks, man. We don't have a Trader Joe's, man. Who cares?
Well, and see, and then there's the opposite side where there's people like me who have been here, my whole life, and I'm like, yeah, I've seen cool things come and go,
And we got a Sprouts, we got an Aldi,
Hey, we got a Sprouts,
we got multiple Walmarts.
It's like I've seen things come and go, but I can't wait to see what's next.
That's what's exciting is, and we were
Right.
saying it to a friend earlier this evening. This is a really exciting time to be around downtown, and I feel very fortunate to be here now than maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Sure.
Because to me, I mean, downtown has changed so much from last year,
Right.
let alone what it could look like next year and the year after that. I hope that I can spend a really quality part of my career here, not only because of the people that I work with and the people that we talk to every day, but we love this city and we we live in the suburbs, right? We live in Martinez, but we're 15 minutes from here, and we love the longer that we're here, that we love the metro more too. And I don't know what these people, because they're out there, and I don't know what these people want. What do you want? Where else are you gonna go? and have something that is so unique to this town?
Right.
Do you want to? I always hear people who are like, I'm in Charlotte from here, and it's like 2.5 hours up the road. So go live in Charlotte and go perish. Right? Okay? I've done it. I'm telling you right now, there's not much in Charlotte that you can do for less than $1,000. And I don't understand why it's or like Atlanta. I'm living in Roswell. Good luck.
Yeah.
Alpharetta.
And the thing is, we're centrally located. We're 2 hours from the beach. We're 2 hours from Atlanta. We're 2 hours from Charlotte. We're 2 hours from Savannah.
Mountains.
If you want
3
mountains,
hours from mountains.
We love all
beach.
those places, by the way, and I'm not knocking Roswell, Alpharetta, Charlotte, whatever. But again, you don't understand the quality of life here in North Augusta, even. Or we have friends in Graniteville. We have friends at the lake. We have this. It doesn't really get much better than this. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Low cost of living, high quality of life.
And if you want to go and visit those places, go for the weekend and come on back.
Give me a Trader Joe's special dark chocolate candy bar. They're fantastic.
Yes.
And I love Trader Joe's. But what I'm saying is these people who are like, we should definitely have a super Target. Okay.
Hey,
then go live in Minneapolis.
By the way, can I tell you from somebody who's been to a super Target, ain't much bigger ain't much different than a regular Target, except they got more space. They got the same crap that they got at the one in
How
Evans
many
and
lamps
Robert C.
do you
Daniel.
need to look at?
You don't.
I just don't understand it.
Welcome
Do they
to
have
our world.
more Joanne and Gaines situations?
Probably.
I don't know.
Again, I say, who cares?
Let me tell you, they got the same graphic tees you'll find at Robert C. Daniel Parkway. Promise you that.
All right.
I love this answer. This was great. This was a
I love
great
you
duo.
guys.
This was a great duo answer.
Bravo.
Seriously.
Well, we're passionate about it. We love where we live, and I wouldn't change it.
Well, Cash Dub, I think this is a great opportunity
I'm very
to
sweaty. I
leave
gotta
on
go.
a high note. You are sweating so aggressively. We really appreciate it.
Where's your restroom?
Sean Cash, Bryan Axel,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you guys so
Thank you,
much for
buddy.
being here.
Thank
we'll
you.
definitely have you on again. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We, of course, could not do anything without having incredible listeners in the city of Augusta. Next week, we'll be talking to a man that's running a project very close to home for us, and that's Trip Harrison of Goodwill Enterprises. Trip oversees the Pinnacle Club, Edgar's Grill, and the newly created Edgar's Above Broad. He's going to have some incredible insights for us, some great knowledge of nonprofits in Augusta, and some pretty exciting information about a brand new rooftop bar. If you enjoyed this show, make sure you tell a friend to listen to the show, and make sure you listen to the newest episode releasing this week of In the Wild, where Rayshawn Ricks from Augusta University interviews us about our podcast journey. This is the Drop the Disc podcast at Augusta Podcast Studio.